Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to your very favorite Bronze Age comic book podcast, Flea Market Fantasy. I'm your co-host, Mike L., and as always, I'm joined by...
Michael Dell of the LCS Hockey Radio Show.
That's right, and this week it is my pick, so I decided to finally review an issue featuring the Amazon Ace, Wonder Woman, number 288.
Is that a real nickname for her, the Amazon Ace?
Of course it is. Of course it is. She has many, but that's my favorite.
All right, and this is from 1982. Now, Michael, looking back over the history of Flea Market Fantasy and your previous picks, we've had Mr. Miracle.
That's right.
The Superboy and Batman thing, Brave and the Bold or whatever.
Yep.
Doctor Who.
Doctor Who, yes. Grant Morrison, yep.
Sandman,
of course, Neil Gaiman.
There's been a lot of terrible comic books. I will say that this might be the dumbest comic book of them all.
This is not good. This is not great. I will.
So bad.
And even worse, it took me like 45 minutes to read.
Why did you pick this issue?
Because I wanted to pick Wonder Woman. And I know that we all love Roy the Boy Thomas.
I think I've detected the problem. Roy Thomas.
Yeah, that could be it. Well, I mean, as a kid, I used to love Roy Thomas, but with each year that goes by, I like him less and less. And I think we've reviewed, 2 comics before this, right? We did All-Star Squadron. What was the other one?
Well, he did that Fantastic Four with the big monkey. Which is awesome.
That's right.
Because it had a big... That's what this book needs, a big monkey. If it had a big monkey, this would be great.
At one point, I was going to read actually, every Fantastic Four, but after reading that big monkey issue, I have excised it from my to-read list. So
yeah, this is rough. Well, we'll get into it in a bit. But so Wonder Woman. Do you remember in Canada, did they have the Linda Carter Wonder Woman?
Do I own the entire series on DVD? Yes.
Well, that's not what I was asking, but all right,
okay.
That's good to know.
Yeah, of course.
I'm a big Linda Carter fan, Michael.
Everyone is. Yep.
Nowadays, they got the Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman.
I believe it's Gal Gadot.
That's ridiculous. We're going to go with Gadot. So, do you prefer Gal Gadot or Linda Carter?
As much as I love Linda Carter, I love Linda Carter, but I'm in love with Gal Gadot.
Well, I'm clearly in the camp of Linda Carter, because Gal Gadot
Carter
too skinny to be Wonder Woman, right?
You think so? I don't know. I mean, do you really think that Linda Carter was like buff?
She was beefy, yeah.
Was she?
She's big. She's big. But I don't know. Yeah, Godot's great. But I don't know. Of the two, I'd take Linda Carter. So that's just
interesting. Okay.
Just me. What can I say? All right. So Wonder Woman. Now, did you read Wonder Woman when you were a child, Michael?
I read a few issues for sure. Like I read a few pre-crisis issues and a few post-crisis issues by George Perez for sure. Yep.
Did you ever feel less of a man for reading Wonder Woman?
Not at all. Why would I?
I don't know. It just seems like when you're a kid and you're reading, you buy a book with a girl. Come on, really?
Well, maybe in the homophobic 80s, but I mean that would be like saying if a girl reads Spider-Man that she's lesbian, right?
I know. I'm just saying, like when you're a kid, though, that you didn't think that way. Like when you were a kid, you're like, oh, a girl comic book. I don't want to read that.
No, I was pretty woke in the 80s. Yep.
Michael, always been woke.
Yep.
Michael. So Wonder Woman, her real name here is Diana.
Yep.
And she's an Amazon Amazon princess, I guess, from Paradise Island.
Well, let's be clear. It's still Diana Prince, right? So she didn't
that's her alias.
Prince for a while. Yeah.
That's her alias.
Okay, true.
But technically her real name is Diana, and that's it.
Right.
Diana, an Amazon from Paradise Island. And on Paradise Island, Michael, nothing but ladies. Nothing but ladies. Big, beautiful ladies. And she, in her real life, Diana Prince as the alias, she's worked as an Air Force intelligence officer, a NASA astronaut. I did not know that. She was a NASA astronaut at one point. Are you aware of this?
Yeah, in different versions for sure, yeah. I think I knew about that one.
She was a United Nations guide.
Huh.
And she owned a mod fashion store.
That was when she had the white suit.
That's what I want to read. I want to read her owning a fashion store.
I don't think you do. It's by Denny O'Neil. Trust me, you don't want to read it.
Her first appearance was in All-Star Comics 8, 1942.
Right.
And she was created by William Moulton Marston, and the artist was Harry G. Peter.
Right.
And do you know about this Marston fella?
I know that he was in a, quote, experimental relationship, right, with his wife and his mistress.
Wild, wild stuff. Marston was a psychologist, and he actually invented the polygraph machine.
This is true.
The old lie detector. And he based the character of Wonder Woman on his wife and fellow psychologist, Elizabeth, and their live-in lover, Olive Byrne.
Mm-hmm.
It's always nice to have a live-in lover.
Yeah.
Sign me up for one of those. Yeah. Their relationship was detailed in the 2017 film, Professor Marston and the Wonder Woman. Have you watched that?
Of course.
I watched it as well.
Really?
Cool. I saw it about a year or so ago. I mean, it's a decent movie. It's solid
it's fine.
enough.
Yeah, definitely.
But some wild, wild stuff. Although I heard the relatives were upset because they say that Olive and Elizabeth did not have a sexual relationship at all.
Really?
That it was just the guy having two wives, basically.
Oh, really? That kind of wrecks everything, doesn't it?
Yeah, I know. So I'm just going to pretend that they didn't say that.
Uh-huh.
That does kind of ruin things, especially one scene in particular. All right, so getting back to Marston and his original view of Wonder Woman, that her mother is Queen Hippolyta.
Yeah.
Hippolyta?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Hippolyta.
And because there are no men on Paradise Island, and she wanted a child, so she carved Diana made a clay statue of Diana, and then prayed to the gods, and the gods made the statue come to life, and that's Diana.
Yeah.
Now later, Michael, they changed that, right?
Actually, I believe it was Brian Azzarello that changed that, and I really liked his run, but I hated the fact that they changed the origin because I like it the way it is.
Yeah, I guess they made it like her dad was Zeus, right?
Yeah,
Zeus
exactly.
Now, the problem with researching DC comics, like I wanted to research some of the minor characters in this book as well, but dude, every history is so convoluted.
Yes.
It's so messy.
Because they reboot everything every 5 or 10 years. Yes.
So it's like no point even looking into these characters' backgrounds because it's all crazy. Like, Michael, some people say that this Diana that we're reading here in today's book, because again, you get into Earth 2 and Earth 1. Mm-hmm. Like, did Earth 2 Wonder Woman die during Crisis?
Oh, this is a loaded question. Okay. I'll give the fastest version possible. If you consider the Earth 1 version of Wonder Woman to have begun around the late 50s, right?
Yeah, well, let me just say this. Some people say that the first Earth 1 Wonder Woman was in issue 98, 1958.
Right, that was her new origin.
Because, there are slight background changes and whatever. But,
right. However, when the TV show came out, since the TV show was set during World War II with her fighting Nazis, they changed the comic over to have Wonder Woman in World War II fighting Nazis and basically just said, oh, we're just going to show the Earth 2 Wonder Woman for like a year, right? Then when season 2 of Wonder Woman went back to the present day, they're like, okay, now we're going to jump back to the present day, 1977 Wonder Woman or whatever year it was, okay? So then that went on for another 10 years or 8 years. When the Crisis happened, this is what's if you thought Crisis was confusing, Wonder Woman's was even more confusing because with every other character, they basically just went back and redid their origin, right, and tweaked it a little bit. With Wonder Woman, in the actual story in Crisis on Infinite Earths number, I think, 12, she gets zapped with this laser from the Anti-Monitor, right? But they actually take the time to explain that the laser does not kill her. It sends her back in time, devolves her back into mud so that she can be reborn and like start her life again. Yes.
Devolves her into mud.
Right. But at the same time, the Earth 2 Wonder Woman, who's now gray-haired and old, she gets her happy ending and gets to live on Paradise Island with the Amazonians happily ever after. However, because DC did not really figure out a master plan when Crisis was done, as soon as that issue came out, they never mentioned the Earth 2 Wonder Woman again. And when they did the George Perez reboot, they never mentioned the time travel thing again. They just started from scratch. And whereas John Byrne's reboot explained what happened to Superman in the past. So Superman's career still began a few years ago. Batman began a few years ago. But as of 1987, Wonder Woman's career began in the present of 1987. So whenever they referred to old Justice League stories, they would always show Superman, Batman, Flash, Green Lantern. But instead of showing Wonder Woman, since she wasn't around then, they had to show Black Canary. So they had to revise all the old stories. It was a complete mess.
Why do people put up with this nonsense? Like, why do they still read this bullshit?
They don't.
Crazy.
A lot of the old time fans jump ship, right? And then new fans come in, and then the New 52 happened, and a lot of fans jump ship, and then new fans come in, and now you have warring factions, right? Like, there's a whole generation of people that think John Byrne's Superman is the be all end all, and I hated it. So I prefer the pre-crisis Superman, right? So the downside is whereas with Marvel, there's really only, one version of Spider-Man, one version of FF. In DC, you've got different factions of people that all think their version is the right one. So it's a huge problem.
Well, the only way to solve this, Michael.
What's that?
Reboot it again.
Let's got it. One more
time. Woo! And give everyone different origins.
Yep.
Holy hell. All right, so getting back to the original Wonder Woman origin, after Queen Hippolyta created her from the mud or the dirt, the clay statue, she was raised up on Paradise Island among the Amazons, and then a fellow named Steve Trevor, Colonel Steve Trevor, his plane got shot down, and she rescued him. She swam out and rescued him and brought him back to the island. The first man ever brought to Paradise Island. Look out.
Yep.
That's trouble. And I guess there's more stories here. Because they knew that the Nazis were bad and a big threat to humanity, so Queen Hippolyta agreed to let Diana leave the island and defend the world against the Nazis, right? Is that basically the premise?
Kind of, yeah, pretty much.
But wasn't there also some sort of a competition they were going to decide who to send, because Queen Hippolyta did not want to send her daughter?
Right.
They had some big competition, and Diana wore a mask, so they couldn't tell it was her. And then when she won the competition, she took the mask off, and Queen Hippolyta said, "All right, you tricked me."
But the thing is, the cool thing is in the George Perez version, she wears like a full-face helmet, right, that covers up her face. So it's kind of logical why she would put it on. But in the original 1942 version, it's just like a little mask like Robin wore, like a little domino mask, So why did her mother not recognize her? But whatever.
So that's how she joined the world of man to go defend against the Nazis. And I don't even remember the TV show fighting Nazis.
Oh yeah, the first season. Oh, it was the best. Yep.
I just remember it in the modern day. And Linda Carter spinning around.
Great stuff. She thought of that, eh?
Oh, great. That's
they're
awesome.
like, we need like a good visual to show her changing her into her costume. So I think she used to do ballet, so she came up with that.
Yeah, that is a good visual.
Yep.
All right, so Wonder Woman's powers, Michael, this also gets tricky. It seems like her powers have changed over the years.
Yep.
Like nowadays, it seems like she's the strongest person ever. Like she can do anything.
Right. Before you say anything, did I tell you that DC's rebooting again, like literally like right now? They're rewriting their history so that Wonder Woman is the first superhero.
Oh my goodness.
But anyway, continue.
Gert. I guess the original premise was she got all her powers from the various gods. Like she can run like Hermes. She's as strong as Hercules. Actually stronger than Hercules. Which I think is a little ridiculous. But so all the gods and their powers, she has them. And like in Athena, like she's so beautiful, like Aphrodite and stuff, and cunning like Athena. So that's a good premise. But now, over the years, she's evolved, and now she can fly, right? She can fly?
Big mistake, yep.
Yeah, I don't like that at all.
No, she used to be able to just drift on, what's it called? Like
air currents.
Right.
That's so stupid. They
Much
do that
more
in this issue. That makes no sense. I could just drift on air currents.
I love it.
But in the old days, Michael, she had an invisible jet, the invisible plane.
That's right.
Now, does she still have that today? Does she can fly? Why does she need it?
They got rid of it because they took themselves too seriously, and then they eventually brought it back.
The idea that she can fly is just terrible.
It is, because it's just too powerful and too much like Superman.
Yeah, and I guess she can also run really fast, like the Flash, and I think that's terrible.
That's stupid, yeah.
Yeah. Keep these heroes individual, you know?
Right.
So, the invisible plane, though, did they ever explain why it had to be invisible?
No, I don't think so.
Because you can still see her, like, sitting in a chair. So it's like she's just flying.
Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous, I know. I think in some versions you can't see her either, but I'm not sure.
Okay. Oh, that would be much better.
Right.
But usually in the comic book, they just show like an invisible plane, like the outline of a plane, and she's just sitting there. So it looks ridiculous.
Right.
Also, from what I read, Michael, apparently Queen Hippolyta told Diana that this invisible plane existed in the world in 3 parts, and if she like put them together, she could have a plane.
Oh, really?
Were you aware of this?
No, I never knew that. That's pretty cool, though.
But I guess the invisible plane is supposed to represent like what's that unicorn got? Pegasus.
Pegasus, yeah. Oh,
yeah, it's like the real world version of Pegasus. So I don't know. Anyway, so that's the invisible plane. She also has a lasso of truth.
Right.
She can spin that lasso around you, and you gotta tell the truth. Can't lie. Mm-hmm. No lying, Michael. Mm-hmm. When it goes up. So if like she put the lasso around you, you would have to admit that Marvel's better than DC.
Sure.
She also has bracelets. She wears these bracelets that can deflect bullets. They're bulletproof. Now, is she herself bulletproof, or just she has to always block the bullets with the bracelet?
In the old days at least, she always had to block the bullets.
Yeah.
So.
Seems hard.
Yeah, but
really hard to do.
It makes it a little bit more challenging, right? Like she's got to actually be quick enough to like deflect those bullets. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, but nowadays, is she bulletproof?
I don't know. Again, when I'm reading these histories, like if I'm reading through these histories, once it gets to like mid-90s, I just tune out. You know.
Because I was wondering, like, can she be cut or bleed? But apparently, depending on what version you are, she can be cut and can bleed. If, like, you know, the strength in the weapon is strong enough.
Yeah, I figured.
Who knows? What else about her? Oh, she also has a tiara that she wears, at least in the old days, and she can throw it like a weapon. Mm-hmm. They got rid of that, huh? I don't think she has a tiara anymore.
I think she does, yep.
Really?
Yep.
Huh. And, of course, her greatest weapon of all this, Star-Spangled Underpants. You got it. The best weapon. Yeah. I'm trying to think anything else about Wonder Woman and her powers. It seems like there's other stuff she could do.
Well, there's also if her hands are bound together by a man, she loses all her power. Yeah. Yeah, that's the other thing about the bracelets. Like if, and by the way, Olive Byrne, Marston's live-in lover, used to wear bracelets like that. That's what inspired it. Ooh, really?
But yeah, in the old days, specifically, like if a man bound her by chains, she lost all her powers. If they tied the bracelets together. A little freaky. Freaky, little kinky stuff going on.
I gotta say, though, these old characters, there was so much, like, their powers are so complex, whereas, you know, like, I love the X-Men, but with each X-Men, it's usually just one thing. You know, like, oh, well, I can, you know, like, I can shoot lasers, or I can make things hot. But with the Wonder Woman, she's got, like, 15 different powers. I think it's pretty cool.
See, I think it's worse. I don't know.
I love it.
It's too convoluted, too confusing. So that's the Wonder Woman, and that's her history. Like we said, there's some other characters in here. Steve Trevor, the fellow that she loves. And wow, is his backstory fucked up. Steve Trevor. Are you aware about, like, The Steve Trevor we see in this issue isn't exactly Steve Trevor. It's like Steve Trevor from another universe.
I tried to read that. It's like, yeah, he dies, then they bring in this one, then he dies, then they forget about him, and then there's another one, and yeah, it's a mess. Total mess.
Yeah, it's so stupid. Then she has a buddy named like Etta Candy. Is that her name?
Yeah, Etta Candy. And
this lady's been around forever.
Right.
And again, she started way back in the day in Wonder Woman, but she's like her roommate, and she works with her at the Pentagon.
Right.
And her last name is Candy because she's fat and likes to eat.
Right. What a coincidence, eh?
We also encounter someone named the Silver Swan, and this is her first appearance. So that's exciting, right?
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So I guess that's all about. Anything else about Wonder Woman we need before we get into the comic?
Only that I'm sure we're going to mention this, but this is actually the first issue where she gets the WW on her chest. Before that, it was just the eagle. Yeah.
That's what I wanted to mention. That's the big deal about this issue is her, I guess her corset or her halter or whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
She gets the new logo of the WW, and that stands for Wonder Woman Foundation, WWF. Right. Not to be confused with World Wrestling Federation.
Right.
Which would be so much better if she had a picture like the Iron Sheik on her top.
That would be funny.
So awesome. And the new logo actually premiered in DC Comics Presents issue 41, also in 1982. And then this issue here continues that story, and we get a flashback and stuff. So all right, Michael. So let's look at the cover.
Look out, world! Wonder Woman is busting loose. So yeah, we've got the new Wonder Woman logo with the WWF, and then it says the sensational new. So I said that wrong. It's look out, world! The sensational new Wonder Woman is busting loose, and then it says.
But I don't blame you for saying it wrong because this cover is very busy.
Very busy, yes.
There's blurbs and language all over the place.
Yeah, then it says right below that, courtesy of Roy Thomas, Gene Colan, and Romeo Tangel. Is it Tangel or... Yeah, I guess it's Tangel.
Tangle? I have no idea.
Tangle, yeah.
He's the anchor.
So Wonder Woman is kind of like... I don't know what she's doing. She's flipping a guy with one hand, she's holding him by the neck, and
and he's upside down.
Right. It looks like she's just knocked over two other guys, and there's another guy right behind her, down on his hands and knees. There's three other people shooting, or four other people shooting her, and one of them is holding a gun, yet also looking at the reader and saying, "And this time, nothing will stop her." So, yeah. At first, I kind of thought maybe he's a reporter, but no, he's another gunman.
Yeah, he's another gunman. He's got a revolver in his right hand.
Right.
And again, four people shooting at her, but she's able to deflect them all with one bracelet. Man, come on, guys, mix up your aim, you know?
Right.
Some shoot at her knees, some go for her head. You'll be able to hit her. Let's go.
Right.
But yeah, this cover is weird. It's the background's all white. And I don't know. I do not like the cover.
Well, first, let's quickly mention, have we reviewed a Gene Colan comic before?
Yes, we have. The Submariner issue. He did it.
Oh, yes. See, Gene Colan is very well liked, but he's never been one of my favorites.
I love Gene Colan.
Really?
I love Gene Colan. But I will say that his work here is okay. It's not the best. Not just in the cover, but in the issue. And I think the problem is that his art does not match Wonder Woman.
That could be. Well, also, I think he was better in the 60s, but anyway.
But a couple of weeks ago, we did that New Mutants issue with Bill Sienkiewicz, and his art was a perfect match for that book. Just the tone of the book. And Gene Colan is very atmospheric and moody and shadowy and very good for horror books.
Right.
And that kind of stuff. I just do not think it's a good match with a Wonder Woman book.
Could be true.
Wonder Woman should be lively and bright and
Right. This is true.
Yeah. So anyway, we can talk about that later. So yeah, not a big fan of the cover. But then we get into the splash page here, and there's more. They give her backstory and Wonder Woman with the new logo. What do you think of that new logo, Michael? The two W's.
You mean the actual logo of the book or on her chest?
On her chest.
Well, I mean, when I was a kid, that was her logo, so I like it.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, that's what I always thought it was. I guess before this, it was kind of like an eagle.
Right, right. And that's the thing is that I also, when I got into DC and like after Crisis, I thought, oh, well, obviously the Earth 1 Wonder Woman had the W and the Earth 2 Wonder Woman had the eagle. But no, she had the eagle all the way up until 82, which I didn't realize.
Yeah, like this is when I think Wonder Woman, this is just what I'm used to seeing her as. So,
right, right.
It seems fine to me. So the big splash page, Swan Song, is the title of the issue. And we see Wonder Woman stomping right toward the camera. And look, Michael, she's beefy. Like, she's an Amazon woman. She's no skinny Gal Gadot. She's thick.
Yeah,
and
just like Linda Carter, right.
And again, this issue is written by Roy Thomas, drawn by Gene Colan. And we see, like, the different hospital personnel, like, reacting to seeing Wonder Woman walk in the hospital. And, man, this stuff's got to go, Roy Thomas. Kind of. He does this throughout the issue, like just random people looking at Wonder Woman and commenting on her, and it's just so terrible.
Like, so you mean, I can't believe it, Wonder Woman here in Metro General Hospital? And
yeah, like that's fine, but then you get like 3 other ones. Never mind that, nurse, just get me an autograph.
Yeah, and then the guy's like in the thought bubble, wonder if she's booked up for the weekend.
Yes, that's the one that's really bad, really bad. And again, it's not just one time. He does that repeatedly throughout the issue. So,
and then
terrible.
Yeah, this other woman asked for an autograph, and she's like, and could you make it out to Ralph with, and then she kind of just brushes her off. I'm sorry, maybe later. And then the woman's like, wow, isn't she the stuck-up celebrity? Who does she think she is? Bo Derek? Yeah, that's what I thought. But anyway.
But Michael, the reason why Wonder Woman's being so cold to the fans is, again, she's in a hospital emergency room, and she's going to see that her true love there, Steve Trevor, is fighting for his life with a head injury.
Right.
And so you can understand if she's distracted and not wanting to sign autographs.
Right.
So we get some, panels of...
Flashback.
It's actually like a montage,
Yeah.
Of the various.
As soon as I saw this flashback, I was like, "Oh fuck, I gotta read this." Because I thought it was like the first issue. I forgot about because this is all flashing back to DC Comics Presents number 41, the preview. It's like, oh shit, okay. So yeah, we find out that she was on this mission.
Because again, for our longtime listeners, Michael's always trying to find like a one-issue self-contained story.
And I've yet to find one. But anyway, so we flash back to her on this mission with Steve Trevor. And this is where we're introduced to the MacGuffin of the issue, the briefcase, right? So Steve has this briefcase full of secret documents. And so they're wrestling with these bad guys, and basically... She defeats the bad guys, and then these girls that are there are like, "Hey, can you wear this logo on your chest? It's for the Wonder Woman Foundation, and if you wear it, we'll be able to get financial backing to promote equality for women everywhere." And then Roy Thomas, he's got to make it complicated. She's like, "I'll think about it." And the next panel, she's wearing it. You know what I mean? Like, come on, just anyway.
Well, no, Michael, it gets a little more involved than that. She says, "I have to think about it." And even though Steve Trevor, the man she loves, is in the hospital with a head injury, fighting for his life, she flies her invisible plane back to Paradise Island to ask her mother if she should wear this halter top.
Okay, that's true.
It's so dumb.
Mm-hmm. And so, So then when she goes back, she finds out that all the Amazons have been bound by mail-forged chains. And in Queen Hippolyta, she's lost her magic belt, and that's the source of her strength. And then they show her fighting Hercules, who she ends up defeating.
Yeah, in order to get back to free the Amazon women, she challenges all the gods to various contests.
Right.
Like she has to outrun Mercury or Hermes.
Right.
She beats Hercules in his test of strength, and all kinds of stuff like that.
Right. And then basically, her mother's like, my advice is wear the new halter for a time, at least, for the good that it may do. And then she
It's
ended up
so
obviously
dumb.
keeping it.
Like, why would Wonder Woman even like have to? It's I don't know. It's just so stupid.
Well, I'll tell you why. Because DC probably figured out they couldn't copyright an eagle, but they could copyright a WW. So that's why.
But just the fact that she has to go ask her mom about it and fly, even though Steve Trevor's in the hospital fighting for his life, it's just the whole thing is so. It's like, oh, women, they're so indecisive, you know.
Well, I mean, his head wound is mild, so.
Yes, his head wounds.
Yeah.
I don't know, Michael. Between you and me, if I get a head wound, it is very serious.
Yeah?
It is not mild. I don't care how. It's very serious. Maybe if you get a head wound, who cares? But if I get a head wound, it's very serious.
I've had a few head wounds, and they were all serious, so.
Yes.
Anyway.
So now we flash back after she got her mother's permission to wear the halter top. Right. She flies back to the hospital. Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
He walks in on Steve Trevor, and he's got his head. It's a kind of serious head wound, Michael, because his head's wrapped in bandages.
Right.
That's always a sign that it's serious. And so Wonder Woman's there talking to the doctor. Here's a question I have for you, Michael.
Yeah.
We know that Diana Prince and Steve Trevor are on this mission with the briefcase. We know that her showing up to the hospital as Wonder Woman is causing a lot of chaos. And it's a lot of people, wanting to bother her because she's Wonder Woman. Why didn't she just show up as Diana Prince?
It could make it a lot easier, yeah. Probably would. Yeah. I don't know. Good question. Yeah. I guess because they know the readers want to see her in that outfit, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right, yeah. They want to see Wonder Woman, not Diana Prince.
Right.
But,
and then
anyway.
I got to talk about, I really hate this kind of dialogue. So the doctor's trying to figure out what's going on, and he's like, where is
well, it's actually a woman. That's a female doctor.
Yeah. Pardon me, it is a woman.
The first two panels, it looks very much like a man.
Right. Jeez. Yeah, then I saw the earrings. I'm like, wait a minute. Okay. Yeah. So then the doctor's like, I just wish that she's talking with Steve Trevor. I just wish what he's facing now had the classic simplicity of an airplane accident. The only, basically and then one was like, is it the head wound? And she's thinking, I mean, I know it's only mild, right? And the doctor's like, definitely not. Or at most, that only triggered whatever's happening to him. It's almost as if I don't even know how to put this in medical terminology, as if his body and his soul are struggling to get out of this world into another one. And then, of course, we find out it's because he's actually from another parallel Earth, right? Like, Jesus Christ.
Because basically, any doctor you encounter in an emergency room in any hospital, they're going to think, all right, let's go through the checklist of what's wrong. All right, now, next one. Oh, yeah, is his body and soul trying to struggle out of this world into the next one?
It's so ridiculous.
Let me check for that.
I really hate that. Anyway.
Oh, and Wonder Woman gives her reply there. Merciful Minerva.
Right. Yeah. I don't know if she said that. She said that in the show too, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I seem to remember that as being her catchphrase.
Yeah. Merciful Minerva and Suffering Sappho.
That's right, Suffering Sappho.
Yeah.
Not Suffering Succotash.
No.
Very different.
So then she sits down and, talks to Steve while he's unconscious. Tells him,
after the doctor leaves and stuff, so it's just her and Steve.
What's that?
Yeah, the doctor leaves, so it's just Wonder Woman and Steve Trevor.
Yeah, and she's like, I love you, kisses him. That's actually a really good shot. All the shadows there.
Yeah, and that's like Gene Colan, all the shadowy stuff.
Right.
And then her tear comes down her cheek and goes across his nose onto his cheek. Right. And it wakes him up.
Right.
It wakes him up. Oh,
magic tears, yeah.
Yeah.
And then
if Linda Carter's kissing me, I'm waking up. I'll tell you that much.
I'd also be crying. Anyway, tears of joy. So then she's like, okay, I got to split. So
she's like, I got to go.
Exact words. But so then, of course, we get another crowd of people as she's walking out, basically holding up things to get autographed, right?
Yeah, this one lady is so terrible.
Right past us, like we weren't even here. Next time, let's stake out the Supreme Court building. I really wanted Justice O'Connor's autograph anyway.
Wah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The reason Wonder Woman is leaving is she has to go retrieve that briefcase.
Right.
Because she hid it somewhere, which, again, this makes no sense.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
This briefcase is so important. What should I do with it? Oh, Well, Will I go fly home to ask my mother about this halter top? I'm gonna leave it in a garbage can.
It's so important. I'm gonna hide it in a garbage can.
God forbid I take it with me.
Yeah.
It's so right. Heavy. Like, it doesn't match my outfit. I'm not going to take it with me.
She also could have put it in her invisible jet, but she didn't even think to do that.
Oh, maybe I'll put it in the trunk of our car and lock it up. Nope. I want to put it in a garbage can in an alley. That'll be a good place to put it.
Right. Then we get a scene of her running through the streets. Again, like you said, it's like, no, the Flash runs. She should not run fast. And the thing is, too, I don't know if you remember this. In the TV show, there was a lot of scenes of Linda Carter running, but it was not in super speed. Oh, it might as well have been me running. You know what I mean? Like, it's just out of breath, like normal speed.
And that was great. Chest heaving, arms pumping. Loved it.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of clips of those in GIFs everywhere. But anyway, chest heaving. Anyway, okay, so she's running through the streets. Oh, yeah. Then she uses her suffering Sappho there and her thought balloons.
And she encounters some thugs with guns.
That's right.
What are they trying to do? Oh, they're robbing a bank or something?
Yeah, I think so. Yep, they're robbing a bank. But then she comes in, they shoot at her. She deflects the bullets. Luckily, they have a helicopter. So they start to climb away to their helicopter. But then, all of a sudden, there's a new super heroine in town. Someone flies in from out of nowhere. Holy cow, look at that. A woman. She's flying straight for the copter. Not only that, but she's a knockout.
She's a knockout. Yeah, she's a very buxom blonde lady with feathered wings. And this is the Silver Swan.
Silver Swan, right. So then she grabs the gunman out of the helicopter and just tosses him aside. So Wonder Woman has to kind of like, catch him before he lands. And then she basically did like the helicopter is now like careening towards the ground, so Wonder Woman has to use her lasso to like stop it from crashing.
She lassos it up and like brings it down safely in a fountain.
in a 6-inch deep fountain, right?
Yes, that'll stop that helicopter from crashing.
Yeah,
Womp. That's the sound effect. Womp.
So then Silver Swan, is like walking towards the crowd, and basically all the guys there are mesmerized by her, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like Wonder Woman's right there in her Star-Spangled Underpants, and no one's looking at her. They're all looking at Silver Swan.
Right, and Silver Swan's like, hello everyone, might I have your attention? I'm called the Silver Swan. I'd like to thank Wonder Woman for giving me an assist on that capture. Wow, she's beautiful. And like everyone's just drooling over.
And then that guy's wife is mad. Harry.
Yeah, Harry. Yeah. And then the next panel, he's like, "Yeah, the Silver Swan," and she's like, "Harry." It's funny.
And her dialogue, the bubble is like it's like bleeding. It's
I think it's supposed to be like ice.
Oh, okay.
I think
it's like melting, or it's icy. All right.
Yeah, I think like giving him the cold shoulder, kind of.
Yeah, that seems right. Yeah.
Right. So then Wonder Woman wants to talk to Silver Swan, but she's like, I'm rather in a hurry. Another time, she takes off. And then there's another guy, like a soldier or a cop or something. He's like,
I think it's a police officer.
Yeah. What a dish. She can hang out on my beat any day. That's what I would say if I saw Silver Swan. But anyway.
Then Wonder Woman, she's like...
I better run back to that garbage can.
Well, she's like, I could easily pursue her, of course, but she does have a right to her privacy.
Yeah. That's nice of her.
Funny, though, how her beauty seemed to affect those men so strongly. Are men really that shallow? Yes. Or am I just giving vent to a kind of envy I've always thought beneath me? Well, I'll worry about that later. Yeah. Wonder Woman's jealous. She's jealous. But she goes to that alley with the garbage can where she put the briefcase. And what do you know, Michael? The briefcase is gone.
That's
Suffering
right.
Sappho.
But there's still but I can still see the imprint of where it lay, but it's not there. She had to clarify that.
Yeah, do we really need to see an imprint of where it lay?
Right.
Just like,
right.
I mean, I trust that she knew it was the right garbage can. I'm not going to question
it. Yeah. And then she's like, it could have been carried off by anyone, of course, a child, a derelict, or it could even be in the hands of agents of a foreign power.
Yeah, so Wonder Woman, that might be a good idea why you don't leave briefcases in garbage cans and alleys.
Right.
Maybe you should have thought of that beforehand. You're supposed to be so clever, the wisdom of Athena and all this, and you put it in a garbage can. Good thinking.
And then I love this, that I kind of forgot she has a telepathic link with her jet. So she's like, calling robot plane, hover for boarding. I love that.
And she's putting her hand up like she's waving it forward, like she's,
right.
Come on, plane. Come on.
And then she flies back to, I kind of forgot this is where she worked, but yeah, she works at the Pentagon.
I love how they show her in the invisible jet. I love how there's like one control, just a giant
stick. Yeah.
It's just...
Well, you know what's funny is it started as the invisible plane, then it was the invisible jet, but you got to wonder, is it really running on like actual jet fuel, or is it just magic? I assume it's just magic. I think
it's magic.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So. Anyway.
It's just a giant stick. All right, so... Yeah, she works at the Pentagon. I think this is when she's in Air Force Intelligence. And when she lands, instead of spinning around like Linda Carter did, she puts her lasso around her and like pulls it up. And as the lasso goes up, she turns into Diana Prince.
Yep.
So that's pretty cool.
So cool, yep.
Yeah.
And then she goes into her office, and Etta Candy's there, and she's caught eating chocolate, right?
Because Etta Candy's fat and likes to eat.
Yes, that's her character. She's always
that's her character.
Been a glutton, I guess you could say.
Every scene she's in, she's talking about food.
That's true. Very, very three-dimensional. So then we get this scene with a sexual predator. What's his
General
name?
Darnell.
Right.
Her boss. He calls her in to ask her about the briefcase, and And by the time I came back from going for help, it wasn't in the trash can. Well, you did follow Air Force protocol by putting the top secret planes in a trash can, so I can't get upset.
Right. And then, of course, we have this panel of, as he's talking to her, he actually like hooks his middle finger into her hair.
Yeah.
And is like playing with her hair.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah,
but those papers were important and your story's so vague. Well, don't worry. No matter what happens, I'll protect you from any inquiries. But, yeah, look at that. And then he puts his hand in her hair. Or his finger in her hair. And she quickly says, hey, I got to go.
Yeah.
I got to go, General Darnell. See ya. And she salutes him as she's walking out the door. Oh, and Etta Candy, as she's eating another candy bar or something, she was listening to their conversation.
Right.
Oh, she dropped a bonbon. That's all.
Right.
Oh, my goodness.
So
Roy Thomas, what are you doing?
Roy the boy. And then it's funny because then Etta Candy mentions the general, and she's like, whatever Darnell wants, Di, you sure got it. I haven't heard so much heavy breathing since my last obscene phone call. And then Wonder Woman's like, or Diana's like, I don't find it flattering, Etta, since I made it clear I'm not interested in his attentions or his protection.
Yeah.
But anyway. So then they go back home and they talk about how their rent has been raised, and so therefore they need to find a new roommate to cover the cost, right? And just for the record,
their rent was $300 a month, and the landlord jacked it up to $450 a month. Right. Holy hell!
Yeah, that's I think that's illegal, isn't it? It's illegal here anyway. Yeah,
50% hike. Yikes!
Yeah, it's crazy. So anyway, so then of course this is where the plot takes a turn for the worse. So then someone knocks at the door and introduces herself. And
well, Diana has to get the door because Etta's eating again.
Oh, right. That's true. Yeah. She's
got her hands full.
On a piece of cake. She's eating a piece of cake, right? And so this woman introduces herself. Her name is Helen Alexandros. And she's here to see about the spare room. So Etta has already, been looking for a roommate. And then she's like, actually, Miss Prince, I think, she's carrying something. So then Diana's like, may I help you with those? And she's like, well, actually, Miss Prince, I think one of them belongs to you. So it's the briefcase, right? From earlier. So it looks like she's the one that fished it out of the garbage.
And she had called earlier. She had called the Pentagon earlier because, that's what you do. You find a briefcase, you call the Pentagon.
Right.
And she had talked to Etta Candy, and Etta told her to bring it by and that they're looking for a roommate. So Etta kind of already had this set up. But,
right. And this is where it gets confusing because then she's like, the men who were expecting it, they came down after all the excitement, and I heard your name mentioned along with the colonels. They said you both worked at the Pentagon, so I decided to try calling you there. Like, this whole thing is just whatever. They should have shown it, but whatever, that's fine.
It's just Roy Thomas.
Yeah, it's Roy the boy. And then we get a little hint at her origin, which is like, And well, I guess I may as well admit it. Men frighten me a little. They always have. I suppose it comes from being so plain all my life, not to mention the skin problem. And then Etta Caney's like, yeah, that can be tough on a girl, right? Want a piece of cake? and then the next panel, Diana's like walking out the door, and then Etta Caney's like, hey, maybe later we can go out for pizza, whatever she says. Ridiculous.
Yep, that's what she says.
Yeah.
Every scene she's in, she's talking about food. So Diana takes a shower, and we get to see a shot of Diana in the shower.
In ecstasy.
So, yeah,
all bubbled up, yep. Anyway.
And then Etta checks in on Helen, the new roommate.
Yeah.
And I'll see you later after you unpack. And then when Etta leaves, we get a full backstory of Helen Alexandros.
Right.
This woman.
And as soon as I saw this page, I was like, oh, fuck, I got to read this.
Apparently, Michael, this homely girl with the bad skin condition is actually a ballerina.
Right.
Because that's what you see, a lot of ballerinas that are homely girls with bad skin conditions. And she was so good at dancing, but they wanted to let her have a good part because of her skin, and she's so homely looking.
Right.
So she yelled to the gods, "Why, I hate everybody! Help me, gods," or whatever. Right. And who heard her pleas for help? Ares, the god of war.
Right. And basically, I mean, what a coincidence that she thought to call to the Greek gods, and a Greek god answered, right?
Yeah, I mean, it worked out. Well, right. That's the way it works out. You call the gods and they answer. I do it every evening. Look how successful I've been. So Ares comes in and he says, I'm going to make you the silver swan. I don't know, something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
And he says, you can be the silver swan for up to 1 hour. You'll be beautiful. All men will want you. You'll be super powerful. But if you defeat Wonder Woman, if you kill Wonder Woman, because Ares hates Wonder Woman, I will make you the silver swan for life. Like
forever, right?
Forever. Yeah.
And also, I mean, we're trying to make this brief, but he also demonstrated all her powers to her. So, like, he showed her that she can fly. He showed her that she's super strong, and she also has like a deadly like singing voice, I guess.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of like Banshee of the X-Men. She can scream and like wreck things.
Right. So now she's got her mission. I got to go kill Wonder Woman. So then we flash back again to where she saw the briefcase, and she saw Diana Prince put the briefcase in the garbage can. But then she saw her turn into Wonder Woman. So now she knows her secret identity.
But like, is it clear why she was there? Like,
no,
she doesn't know Diana Prince. Does she know Diana Prince is Wonder Woman?
Well, now she does. No, it just says here. She began to study the itinerary of Wonder Woman. I don't know how she has an itinerary, and learned that she had been seen recently in the company of Colonel Steve Trevor. So she's like, there was a simple matter with the help of Mars to contact foreign agents concerning a certain delivery Trevor was to make. So she basically tracked down.
Yeah, Wonder with the help Woman. Of Mars. Oh, that's Ares, just the Roman name for Ares.
Yeah. Yeah, and so then it was Captain Diana Prince she saw hiding a valued briefcase in a Washington garbage can. It was someone else that Diana turned into Wonder Woman. So she's got a plain Jane alter ego too. Anyway, I really hate when Roy Thomas adds in those little extraneous. It's just like, hey, look, it's a woman flying and she's a babe. That's the worst part of his writing. But anyway.
Yes, I agree.
So anyway, we flash back. So now she's in her apartment, I guess, and she's
she turned into Silver Swan in the apartment.
Yeah, she's kind of stocky as well, eh?
Yeah, a little thick. Yeah,
I think that's just the way Gene Colan draws women. But anyway.
At least Wonder Woman's supposed to be an Amazon. She's supposed to be a big, strong, powerful woman. So then we see Diana getting out of her shower. So yeah, this is what the boys like. And she puts the little lasso around her feet and she's bringing up her body. We get to see some Wonder Woman butt there, Michael. Look at that in the shadow.
That's true. Ooh.
Naked Wonder Woman butt.
Jeez, I didn't realize that. Yeah, that is naked.
But they shadow it, so I guess technically it's not she's naked, but yeah, she's naked there.
Wow.
So then the lasso goes up and bang, she's Wonder Woman. And she jumps out the window, she calls her invisible jet, and off she goes. But because she has to deliver that briefcase to the Pentagon and the people in power. But the Silver Swan follows her. She's flying behind her invisible jet.
Right. And then Wonder Woman tries to like call to her, Silver Swan, what do you want? No answer. But how could she have found me when I'm in my invisible robot plane? Good question.
Yeah, the robot plane.
So then she just does what anyone would do and jumps out of the plane. I guess she's hoping to catch an air current.
Yes.
So then she lands on the ground, and then as she's like falling down, Silver Swan grabs the briefcase out of her hands.
Yep.
What in Pluto's name? But then she kind of wrestles it back, and they end up having a tug of war, and they rip the handle off. And this is all while they're in the air. Yeah, you're right. That's what's hard to tell, because in the one panel, her foot is touching the bottom of the panel, so I thought maybe she'd already landed, but no. Because then in the next panel, it's still at the bottom, so it's kind of like Gene Colan should have drawn her legs bent up or something, so they didn't look like they were touching the edges of the panel. But anyway.
Because then in the next panel, you clearly see she's still falling.
Right.
And she throws the briefcase at the generals. Now, were these generals did they know she was on her way, or they're just?
I don't know. She's like, I've got a briefcase to deliver by Air Express. She just throws it at them. So it must be. I'm assuming it's not breakables in there, because she's already left it in a garbage can and now whipped it at the ground at these two guys. So anyway. So now she's been falling for 15 minutes. Sorry.
Yeah, but she says, but anytime there's a halfway decent wind current around, I can at least ride it as I'd ride an ocean wave.
Yeah.
I had no idea she could do this, and it is so stupid.
Still better than flying, though, I think. Still better than flying.
I guess, but I would just rather her plummet to the ground like a rock.
Anyway. So then, she starts fighting Silver Swan. And then,
Silver Swan cracks her one. Boom. Punches her.
Yep. Thram. And then she gets knocked behind these bushes. And then basically they're fighting.
You know what I was waiting for, Michael? Like when, remember we did that issue with, Captain Midnight? And he went behind the bushes and turned to Captain Midnight. I was waiting for Captain Midnight to pop out.
Oh boy, that would have been great. Oh man. That's still the gold standard. Yep.
Yeah.
So Wonder Woman is getting the upper hand. So Silver Swan decides to unleash her killer voice and and just knocks her over with her singing.
Yeah.
And she smashes through some bricks or whatever. So then this is where it gets kind of wonky, the plotting. So actually I shouldn't say that, continues to be wonky. Then Silver Swan lands. And the guys are all like, you must be the Silver Swan we heard about. That's right. The one who caught those spies. Look at her, guys. She's gorgeous. But then we cut over and it says moments later. So now obviously Silver Swan has had time to talk some more. So then Wonder Woman's like, why don't you ask her why she tried to kill me?
Yeah, Wonder Woman's all beat up. She's hunched over. Right. And her dialogue, the lettering on the dialogue is all wonky, she's beat up,
Yeah. And then the general's like, oh, she already explained all about that, Wonder Woman. Glad to see you're not hurt badly, though. She says it was all an unfortunate misunderstanding because she thought you were stealing it. And you believe that? Why would I lie? Well put, Silver Swan, and thanks again.
You're as patriotic as you are lovely, and that's saying a lot.
Yep, and then she just flies off. Okay, thank you, General Darnell. And now, au revoir. And then Wonder Woman's like, wait! She's flying off. Yet I'm sure she landed in order to finish me. Why did she change her mind? And then, of course, Roy the boy comes to the rescue. The answer to that, alas, will be revealed in the very near future. But just now, at a certain hospital. So that's the end of that. So now we cut away to what they used to call an epilogue. Right, Mike Dell?
Sure, yeah. Steve Trevor in the hospital.
Yep, Steve Trevor in the hospital. And we see this guy. Sorry, that's a woman.
That's the female doctor again, Michael.
Whoops. Okay. And then, so the female doctor is talking to someone in the shadows. Yes. And the guy in the shadows is like, as you can clearly see, Dr. Prescott, my papers are all in perfect order. Yes, but it's still very risky to move a patient in Colonel Trevor's condition. I take full responsibility for the move, my dear doctor. After all, one must be doubly trustworthy, doesn't one, when one has a name like Dr. Psycho? And this, of course, is one of Wonder Woman's oldest villains, Dr. Psycho.
Oh, he is?
Yeah.
See, I never heard of him. No idea who this guy is. He seems very small, like a dwarf. Is he? Because he's looking up at that doctor.
Yeah. He's supposed to be like a little guy. Yeah.
Okay. And so, what does he have powers or anything? Or
I don't think so. I think he's just like a really clever psychologist.
well, yeah, you might want to change your last name then. Like I don't know.
Yeah. Those are different times,
Yeah. So that's it. Next issue, Psycho, the Silver Swan, plus the coming of Captain Wonder. Who's
That's
Captain
right.
Wonder?
Captain Wonder, from what I remember, is a guy who's dressed in a male version of a Wonder Woman costume.
The Star Spangled Underpants?
I'd have to look that up. I'm not sure about that.
I hope not. That would be disturbing. Yeah. So there it is, Wonder Woman issue 288 from 1982. Wonder Woman is busting loose. Wow.
Yep.
Michael, what the hell? What are you doing to us, Michael?
I tried. Hey, I went for Roy the Boy. I thought he wouldn't disappoint us, but I was wrong.
Roy Thomas wrote, we've talked about him before on the show, but he wrote Wonder Woman's 288. Oh, this is his first one. Through 296. And then he came back to write issue 300. And that was all from 82 to 83. And here's an interesting note, Michael. Thomas's wife, Dan, D-A-N-N, I guess short for Danette, she co-wrote issue 300, making her the first woman to ever get a scripted credit on Wonder Woman.
That's crazy, yep.
As a writer. Now, in the old days, Michael, the first woman to actually write Wonder Woman was Joy Hummel, who was a student of Marston's, and she did some fill-in issues for him during the 1940s, but she was never credited.
Ah.
So Roy Thomas's wife is the first to get credit. And then Trina Robbins, who co-wrote and drew Legend of Wonder Woman miniseries in 1986, was like the next one, I think.
That's right. And we interviewed her. She's great.
And she was also the first woman to draw Wonder Woman.
Yes, true.
1986. That's pretty crazy that it takes that long to get a woman to write Wonder Woman or to draw Wonder Woman.
Right. Yeah, it is crazy.
And it wasn't until Gail Simone then came in. She was like the longest running regular female writer. Mm-hmm. There's a couple other women. I think one named Mindy something.
Oh, Mindy Newell. Yeah, she was great. Yeah. She did Wonder Woman right before the Crisis reboot. Yep.
Yeah, and then Gail Simone was the most famous of them. Did you read the Gail Simone stuff?
Yeah, it's pretty good actually. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Hey, who's your buddy that drew Wonder Woman? Comic Book Syndicate. You guys.
You mean Yannick Paquette?
Yes. Right. He drew Wonder Woman. Right?
Yes, he did Wonder Woman Earth 1, Book 1, and Book 2. Yep. And there's a Book 3 coming out.
And didn't he put Jolie in one of the issues?
He did, and yeah, absolutely. She's famous now.
And he's a really good artist, by the way.
He's a great artist. Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, very good. All right, so Gene Colan, of course, does the art here, and he drew Wonder Woman's 288 to 305, and that's from 82 to 83. I'm surprised he was actually on that many issues, because, like I said, I don't think his art matches Wonder Woman at all.
Yeah, I think this was supposed to be kind of like another reboot where this is the new direction for Wonder Woman, but then it just didn't last long.
Yeah, maybe they're trying to get like a grittier feel to it with the art, but the art and the dialogue certainly don't match. Like the dialogue's so goofy, and the art's kind of I love Gene Colan. I just don't think he's right for Wonder Woman.
Right.
Well, I don't know, Michael. I think we've talked about the writing and art and everything throughout the issue, but the dialogue's terrible, the plot's terrible. I don't know.
But there's something you're forgetting, and that's entertainment value.
This was not entertaining at all.
I was more. Here's the thing: is that this goes almost back to like a review of Starbrand. Even though Starbrand was garbage, I continue to read the rest of the series, right?
I see you tweeting out occasional Starbrand references.
Right. I'm on number, I think, 9 now. But anyway. So
Does it get better? Is it better by 9?
Kind of, yeah. Because Jim Shooter gets a little bit better, and then he leaves, and Carrie Bates takes over, and he gets much better. But
worst dialogues, Jim Shooter, Roy Thomas, or Jack Kirby?
Ooh, yeah, that's a good question.
I'd probably go Shooter. I don't know, man.
But he's done better. He's done some good. He at least has some good dialogue, whereas Jack Kirby has no good dialogue, and Roy Thomas has his moments.
Shooter's really good at the plotting, I think,
right,
and like the big picture stuff. Mm-hmm. I don't know, man. They're all Roy Thomas. Just not a fan at all. So
yeah. The thing is he wrote like 100 issues of Avengers that I plan to read because they're considered classic issues by John Buscema and Neil Adams. So I got to read them, right? But it's going to be tough to get through those.
Yeah. Good luck.
Yeah.
And again, Colan's art here is fine. It's not his best work, but again, I just don't think it matches Wonder Woman.
Right.
All right. So 1 out of 10, Michael.
Woo! Man, it depends how you're measuring it, but since I'm including entertainment value, I will give it a 5 out of 10.
Again, there is no What is entertaining about this? There is no entertainment value here.
This is what it is. When I'm reading it, I have a big smile on my face. That's what the
how bad it is. Like, again, there's a fine line between bad awesome, like that Captain Midnight story, and just bad. And this is bad. This is not good.
Yeah. I would still rather read this, though, than a modern comic. That's the difference.
Wow. Yeah. Yikes. Scathing indictment of modern comics. I will give it a 2.
So is that your lowest yet?
No, I've given 2s out before.
Okay.
I've never given a 1. Have I given a 1? I don't know. Maybe that Doctor Who. I
gave that one a 9, I think. But anyway.
I think, gave it a 2 because, again, I like Colan and... there's some good pictures of Wonder Woman in here. I get to see naked Wonder Woman bum putting up the lasso and stuff. So, I don't know, it's fine. But, 2 out of 10. 2 out of 10.
Yeah. It would probably
She had to fly back to Paradise Island to ask her mom if she should wear a halter top.
I don't mind that, though, because, Wonder Woman's mother is the queen of the Amazons. That's like, that didn't even make me flinch,
It made me flinch. She put the top secret plans in a garbage can.
That was bad. Yeah, that was bad.
I don't know. Just terrible. Terrible stuff. All right, Michael. Next week we'll try and rebound from this.
Woo! What do you got?
So I wanted to find an obscure 1970s Marvel book that we've never discussed or talked about. And so we're going to go from 1976, Black Goliath issue 4.
Whoa.
Black Goliath. Are you familiar with Black Goliath?
Of course. I actually read the story where he first becomes, because he changed his name to, what was it? Was it Giant Man? Yeah. Yeah, because he was Black Goliath first, then he was Giant Man, right? Yeah.
No idea. I have no history with this character at all. But again, if you were black and you were a superhero in the 70s, you had to put black in your name somehow.
That's true.
True. I guess Luke Cage broke that in Falcon. But normally.
You got Black Goliath, Black Panther, Black Lightning. It's probably more. Mm-hmm. So why'd you pick number 4?
Oh, well, there's only 5. Okay. So I went with 4 because the villain in this is a fella named Stiltman. That's right. Stiltman, Daredevil's longtime foe. Because if you read the early Daredevil, he fights Stiltman about, every 3rd issue. He's fighting Stiltman. So this is great. Stiltman versus Black Goliath. The writer here is someone named Chris Claremont.
Nice.
Never heard of him.
Yep.
And the artist is Rich Buckland, who we've also talked about before.
Right. Cool.
Black Goliath, number 4.
I'm definitely going to try and read the first 3 issues before I read this one.
Also, as a bonus, the cover is drawn by Jack Kirby.
Yep, I see that here. That's pretty cool.
So there you go.
All right. Well, every week we do a different Bronze Age comic, rotating between my picks and Mike Dell's picks. We drop a new episode every Tuesday, and we've been going a year strong now. So you can
Has it been a year officially?
Well, you figure there's 52 weeks in a year, and we're at episode 56. So
I didn't know if you were on the metric system up in Canada.
No,
so maybe you have different weeks in a year.
And
I was thinking, that's right. Like, I'm thinking, didn't we start this in August? Is it really August? It's September. We're into September. In my mind, I'm still thinking it's like July.
And we also mentioned the 1-year anniversary on the air. And to celebrate, I got Kevin Jank to come on, remember?
Oh, that's right. With Superman. That's right.
This has all been wiped from your memory.
This is all new to me.
Oh, that's funny.
I feel like that's Steve Trevor from a different universe. My memory's been wiped.
That's the problem. It feels like your soul is trying to escape to another dimension. That's the problem.
To another world.
Yeah.
All right.
So you can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, all under Comic Book Syndicate, of course, to make it as confusing as hell. Until next Tuesday, this has been Flea Market Fantasy. So disperse!